All right, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Mass Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing a ranking for the Clone High characters. I don't have any preamble, so let us just get into it, starting off with Bloody Mary. I would give her a D/F tier. I don't really care for her. To be honest, a lot of the characters in this show, I did not really care for that much, so there are going to be a lot of D/F tier characters, but yeah, Bloody Mary, she was in like season 1 at the very beginning in the sleepover episode between Joan, Frida, and Harriet, and then it's like revealed in season 2 that like she never left the mirror dimension, and so she ends up trying to seduce Abe so that she could take his virginity and then steal his life force, I guess. So I didn't care for her, didn't really like it that much, and yeah. Moving on, Abe, I would give him B tier. He's like kind of a stupid character, and he gets like pretty pathetic once you get into the later season, where it's like he only cares about losing his virginity, and he like gets all upset at Joan because he's like, oh, you should have let me die because I wouldn't have died a virgin, yeah, it's like a really stupid reason to get upset at a friend for. So yeah, he gets a bit pathetic towards the end, but I do think that overall he's like fine. He's not bad in like the first season or like the second season. I guess I don't know, he's fine in like the original series and the reboot. He's not as good, I guess, so I'm just gonna give him B tier. This is JFK's father, and where's his other father? I pretty much just put them in the same tier, which is D/F. I don't really care for them. I don't know, there's a lot of like background characters here that just don't really show up in the show too much. I didn't include any cameos. I didn't really care for any of the cameos. I didn't think like any of them were bad, really. I just didn't really feel like ranking them because I just didn't care for them too much. If like as usual, like if there's a character that I did not include that you want to know my opinion of, you can ask in the comments, and I will give my thoughts on that character. But yeah, the JFK's foster dads I did not care for. Candid, I would give her D/F tier again. I'm doing this group style, by the way, and then at the end maybe we'll do side style. So I didn't care for her. She's like this introduction. She's meant to kind of give a different dynamic for Scudworth and Mr. Butlertron, but I don't know, she's this harsh like boss that is trying to gain power, I guess, and yeah, that's pretty much all our characters. So she's kind of one note, so I don't really care for that much. Cleo, I do not like her really. She's probably my least favorite clone out of all the clones. She is just basically the same personality all the time, which is very stuck up, very obnoxious kind of, and I guess they kind of try to develop her character a bit when she ends up dating Frida I think it was the end of the first season. So not the first. It's so confusing. It's like there's 3 seasons, but then one of them is technically the first season, and then there's like the first season of the reboot. So I titled the reviews like season 1, season 2, and season 3. So at the end of the second season, technically, she gets with Frida, and that kind of like I guess slightly changes her character a bit, but still I don't really like her character at all. Confucius, I'd give him like. I don't know, I'm thinking between B and C tier, and I'm not sure if I should be generous or not. And I'm not going to be generous, I'm just going to call him C tier. I didn't care for him too much. He was fine. He was like, out of the new clones, I would say he is probably the best one, to be honest. I think that he's like the one that I think shows up the most. Like Topher's barely in the, actually probably not him, but Topher's barely in the show. Frida's kind of she only shows up after a certain point. She's only with Cleo, and then but you still have Confucius. He kind of like interacts with a lot of the other characters as well as Harriet, and so yeah, I thought he was fine, not great or anything, but C tier, I guess. Genghis Khan, don't care for him. Once again, he's just a clone that's like off in the background. Just whenever he was kind of in the original season, he shows up a bit here and there in the reboot. Don't really care for him too much. Frida, I would give. Yeah, D/F tier. I don't really like her either. She is just, I don't know, she's like this very chill person and stuff, but there's nothing to her. It's like, once again, she's the only thing about her after a certain point is she has one episode where it's like she's pointing fish and stuff, but it's like, I don't care for that. And then she like has to, Scudworth, I guess, that episode was like more about Scudworth rather than her, where she just like she loves painting. She's not really the best at it. And yeah, I don't really care for her character, and she after a certain point she only like shows up and her whole thing ends up being her character is like only in relation to a relationship with Cleo, and it's a big problem with a lot of the characters. Like after a certain point, a lot of these characters like don't have personalities of their own, and then it just feels like, except for except for JFK, who is like he actually gets like some plot development where he doesn't want to be known for the thing that I'm complaining about. He doesn't want to be known for just like the sleeping with people, I guess. But then every other character kind of feels like their personality, they lose their personality, and then it just kind of becomes like this character is just the whole thing with them is just who they're like dating or whatever. So I just didn't like that about the show too much. So yeah, Tucson, don't care for him, D/F tier. I thought that he was very boring. He just kind of shows up a bit to cause conflict between the relationship between Harriet and Confucius. And yeah, that's basically it with his character. Gandhi, the best character in the show, S tier. It's a real shame that they couldn't bring him back for the reboot. But yeah, in season 1, he was the most entertaining character. He had the best bits, and overall, he was just the most fun character in the show. Every scene with him was great. I don't think he had any bad scenes, to be honest. So definitely the best character of the show by far, I would say. And yeah, just the best character. He was the most entertaining, and he. I wonder if he was in season 2 or 3. I wonder how they would have what they would have done with his character, because season like 2 and 3 are so focused more so on, they try to take the show a bit more seriously, especially with like the character dynamics, where in the first season it felt more comedic and like more baseline with the relationships and stuff. So I wonder if he was in season 2 and 3, like how his character would end up developing, and if he would still be the same kind of like goofy character that's just off doing whatever. And because Gandhi, they really didn't focus too much with him on the relationship side of things. There was like the small thing with him and Marie Curie, but that was more so towards the end of the original season. And at that point, they weren't like overloading us with like all these different relationships. So I guess it kind of, I wouldn't say it worked. None of the relationships in the show for me really worked. So yeah, but overall, I thought that he was the best character. Harriet, I will say D/F tier. I don't care for as well. She is, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think any of the, I guess like besides Confucius, I didn't really like any of the new clones. So yeah, she was not great. She has this very like kind of, I don't know, this personality where it's like she's constantly like gets into fights with Joan, where it's like they're friends and then they're not friends and stuff, and then she's like not the most faithful person, where it's like she's cheating on she cheats on Confucius, and then I think she cheats on I forgot the timeline how it works. She cheated. Well, she didn't cheat, but JFK cheated on Joan with her, and then you had she cheated on Confucius with Tucson and stuff. And so yeah, once again, just her personality is too tied up with all these relationships I don't care about. So just I don't like her, D/F tier. George Washington Carver, I would give him I don't know what I would give him. I give him like I'll go C tier. The only thing I liked about him was I did like the one episode where it's like he makes a film with Gandhi, like Black and Tan. I thought that was a good episode, so that was like good for his character. But besides that, I didn't care for him too much at all. So yeah, I'll say C tier, C for Carter. But yeah, that's all I'll give him. So Joan, once again, D/F tier. I just did not really like her. She also, like in the first season, I think in the first season she was one of my least favorite characters as well. And just the entire like progression of her character has been. The entire first season, it was just she likes Abe, but she like doesn't know how to tell him. And then afterwards, it's like she ends up becoming kind of popular and she ends up gaining friends. And then from there, it's like she betrays her friends, and then it's just too much relationship drama that with her and like her friendship dramas. And I don't care for any of this. It's just so shallow and petty, and it's just I don't. That's like the biggest problem with the show. It feels like they focus too much on these like really crappy relationships that just don't go anywhere. So. And she is a central focus of like a lot of those elements with the show. So I didn't care for that. And usually like when it comes to like couples and stuff in shows, I do really like them, but it just in this context, I guess it's just so baseline and like not well developed and stuff that it didn't work for me at all. So yeah, Marie Curie, D/F tier. I did not care for her. She is not really in the reboot at all, to be honest. I think she maybe she shows up here and there, like as like you see her, but I don't think she actually talks at all in the reboot. But then in the original series, she kind of had she liked Gandhi, and then that is the whole thing with her character, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I didn't care for her really because she didn't really do too much. So D/F tier. Mr. Butlertron, I will give him I'll give him A tier. I did like him. He was I would say probably he was a good character. He was definitely good. He had the best episode, I think, out of the reboot with the whole backstory episode, which originally when I saw it, I didn't really think too highly of it, but then I did really appreciate it much more on rewatch. So yeah, I did like his character. He had some funny moments and stuff, some good bits here and there, and he had a good dynamic with Scudworth, who is also one of my favorite characters. So overall, I would give him A tier. In show context, probably not. I think all of this is probably, except for maybe Gandhi. I think Gandhi might be like an overall S tier character, but I think that pretty much everyone else is just in show context, so not overall context. I don't think I would say he's overall an A tier character. So this police officer dude, I will give him B tier. I don't really remember. I think he was just in one episode where they had the party, and then he was called to break up the party and stuff, but I do remember him being funny in that episode in the original series. Actually, I think he was in a few other episodes in the original series, so he was good in the original series, but not really. He wasn't in the reboot. He wasn't in season 2 or 3. From what I remember, maybe he was, and I just don't remember. But from what I remember, I don't think he was. So I would give him B tier. I'd say B tier. And Scudworth, definitely. I'm not going to give him S tier, but I will say A tier. Very good, very funny, very entertaining. Similar to Mr. Butlertron, he is a lot of where the comedic stuff like really is preserved, I guess, from the first season of the show. Like in the reboot, he is where a lot of the comedy stems from, which is good. And yeah, overall, I don't know if he's he's probably a bit better in the original season compared to the season 2 or 3 when it comes to like the comedy and stuff. But I think overall as a character, he's been consistently good throughout the entire series. So I would give him A tier. Ponce de Leon, he was in like one episode and he ended up dying in that one episode. And so I will give him, should I say D/F tier? He was a bit memorable. I guess it was kind of like a character like that's like, they pretend like was always in the show and stuff, and then he ends up dying, and so he's like a bit memorable compared to some of the other clone background character clones. So I'll give him C tier for that reason. But yeah, overall still just not a great character. So C tier. Sacagawea, I don't care for her. She is just a background clone that ends up showing up, and yeah, there's nothing for me to say about her. She's not really a character in the show. The Sheep Professor, I will give him also D/F tier. I don't care for him as well. He's just, he's in a few scenes in the original series. He shows up a bit maybe in the reboot, but then he is just really not that memorable. Scannertron, I forgot really what he did. He was in like one episode in the original series, and then in the reboot, I think he was towards the season finale in season 2. So I do think that, he's not very memorable, and I don't really remember what he did in the original series except for something to do with the test or something like that. So yeah, I didn't care for him, and so D/F tier. Topher, I'm going to give him C tier for the sole purpose of he had like one good scene, which was maybe not one good scene. He had like a few good lines here and there, but I did like the scene where he has the internet battle with JFK. So I thought that was good. So I'll give him C tier for that. C for Christopher, and yeah. Van Gogh, don't care for him at all. D/F tier is a very sad, pathetic character that yeah, just. His character is like just kind of really pathetic and stuff anytime he shows up, so I don't care for him. D/F tier. Toots, I will give him A tier. I thought he was pretty good. He is out of all the foster parents, he was the best one. He was like the most prevalent one. He was the one that showed up the most, I think, besides maybe Cleo's mom also showed up here and there, but not as much as Toots. Toots definitely was the foster parent that we saw the most of, and he was a very funny, entertaining character as like this blind guy that was the father of Joan, I guess, and was I don't know, he'd show up here and there making good comedic moments and stuff. So yeah, A tier, I'll give him. And JFK, I'm gonna give him like if it was just season 1, maybe I would give him A tier. Maybe I'd give him like the bottom of A tier, but I'm gonna be harsh and just give him B tier. I thought he was fine. He's probably the best clone from the in the reboot series, because he actually has a bit of development where it's like he doesn't want to just be known for sleeping with people, which I thought was like good for his character. That I think I said in season 1, like it wasn't great because a lot of the comedy from him came from his like womanizing and misogyny in season 1, but I do think that in like once you get to season 3, it does feel like he is trying to grow as a character and stuff, and I do think that it was kind of good in comparison to everyone else, where it's like no one in the show really grows. Like Abe still feels kind of the same, if not a bit worse. Cleo feels the same, Joan feels the same. It feels like none of the other clones really develop too much, so JFK feels like the one that actually kind of develops throughout the show, so I'll give him B tier for that reason. And I'm going to do side style for, I guess I'll do for everything that's not D/F tier. So out of the C tiers, who do I like the most? I'll go George Washington Carver, then Confucius, and then I'll go Topher, and then Ponce. And then B tier, I will say JFK is the best, then this police officer dude, then Abe. And then for the A tiers, I'll say Scudworth is my favorite, then Butlertron, then Toots, and then Gandhi is my favorite character in the show. So yeah, so that is pretty much all there's to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it does not have to be media related. It can be anything. Leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.